today I'm doing something a little bit different than just like a normal kind of look. If I haven't said it before explicitly in any of the other videos, I'm going to say it now. I am in a band and it's a rock band, and therefore for every performance I tend to get a little bit more decked out than I normally would. I wear a lot of black eyeshadow and all that good stuff. And I've been seeing some really creative makeup techniques slash uses of glitter in particular lately. I was inspired by Patrick Starr's black glitter winged eyeliner. So I thought I would do kind of a similar take on that, but instead of just a winged eyeliner, I was gonna do like a black smoky eye with a kind of slatey, dark gray, almost black glitter overlay, just to see what it does. I love the look of sparkle on stage. I recently saw another performance of a girl who had put a bunch of hollow iridescent glitter on the underside of her eyes, and that looked really beautiful on stage. It almost looked like she had like extra sparkly eyes, or almost like tears, but like magical tears. So I might not do that today, or I might just do like wipe the black stuff off and try another one with the rainbow hollow glitter. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that once I do a black smoky eye with this glitter, it's gonna feel like too much to put that rainbow glitter on. We'll find out. It might totally morph and change from what I'm thinking right now. Anyway, that's kind of the plan. So I also have a couple products that I want to try out, including these NYX glitters. I have the shades number 6 and number 12. Number 12, the blackish charcoal glitter, is a lot finer of a texture than the hollow glitter as well. So I think their colored glitters are a little finer in general, and then the hollow has some bigger particles. So take from that what you will. I also just picked up their glitter primer, which is kind of interesting because it honestly feels like a really nice, sticky, almost like a regular eye primer or like a really sticky face primer. It doesn't feel so much like a glitter glue, kind of like, to me glitter glue is like, it looks like eyelash glue, but you put glitter on it instead. Anyway, I'm kind of excited about it. On a completely different subject, I picked up this L'Oreal, it's a new L'Oreal product. It's called Brow Stylist Boost and Set. And it's a volumizing brow mascara. And if you've watched any of my, at least my previous video, you know that I love a good brow mascara, and I tried this one last night just randomly, and I'm super impressed. So I want to show the world, or even just the one person that might be watching this right now. You might get something out of it. Hey. So, where to start? I mean, I tend to do a pretty basic, normal makeup routine before the makeup comes into play. It's very similar to my everyday makeup. I still don't really go that ham on the coverage. Sometimes I will wear a foundation with a little bit more than, what I've been using lately, which is this Neutrogena Perfecting anti-aging base. But honestly, I tend to hike up the coverage a bit with the concealer anyway. So for me, it doesn't really matter what foundation I'm doing. It's all in the concealer and then the sculpting later, because on stage you're getting pretty washed out anyway, so as long as you don't have a crap ton of texture on your skin, you're probably fine with any form of foundation. So I think I'm just gonna put my base on off camera, and then we'll focus more on the glittery stuff, the eyes, the eyebrows, because that's where it's really at for me. And then maybe we'll touch on some sculpting as well, just because sculpting for stage is usually a little more intense than just regular. So, and how to kind of make that look decent and not insane like for after the show when you're talking to people, but still have enough impact on stage to show some light and shadow. So we'll kind of go through a little bit of that. Okay, so I'm back. I've done my base, everything except for under the eyes, and I have not powdered yet. The reason for not putting any concealer under the eyes yet is because there's gonna be so much black shadow and glitter. I'm gonna use a bit of tissue to help myself out with the glitter and the fallout, but you know, why put concealer there when I'm probably just going to put more and then do stuff under the eyes. So I'm just trying to like not layer so much product on my skin. And I'm just gonna brush through my eyebrows a little because it always drives me insane when they're like matted to my face after putting on foundation. Today I went in a little bit differently with the foundation. I used the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion, and I actually did use both of these colors. I started out with this darker one, number 108A, Nude Beige, around the perimeter of my face, especially under the cheeks and the chin, and then up a little bit in the temples. And then I went through the rest of the middle of the face with this shade, which is number 106A, Light Ivory. And then I used Tarte Shape Tape, number 27S, Light Medium Sand, everywhere except under the eyes, and then we'll hit under the eyes later. So that's that. Now I'm gonna get into the eyeshadow look, which is always a little bit intimidating because I don't do this every day. So first I'm gonna prime with some MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. Seems like the paint pots are a complete staple for everybody, so if you don't know about them yet, you should. I use the Soft Ochre because I have quite a yellow undertone, but Painterly works great too, and I actually used to use that for the longest time until I discovered Soft Ochre. And as you might know already, this just gives a nice flat base to the eye so that you can, wow. This just gives a nice flat base to the eye so that you can sculpt it and shade it however you want. Almost always when I do gig makeup, is what I call it, I go in with the original Tartelette palette. It is all matte and it has a really nice range of neutral but a little bit varied on the undertone kind of shades, and they all go from like light to dark. So, and this is also the strongest black eyeshadow that I currently have in my arsenal. So I've looked at the other ones that I have, and none of them are quite as dark as this one. We're not gonna go in with that first. You have to build your way into it. That is something that I've really learned because it just gets everywhere if you try to start with the black shadow and then work your way into like a brown or like anything to smoke it out. It just kind of makes a mess. So you have to kind of go the opposite direction. So I think I'm just gonna use this palette in its entirety for this look today because, I don't know, it's just easier and it sticks with as few products as possible. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Force of Nature up at the top here. And I never really do like a white or like a pale base underneath. I always just go in right with like my transition color. It's just something I've learned works for me best, but for lots of other people, you need that like pop of a light color around your brow bone. I have so much space between here and here that it's not really necessary and sometimes can kind of mess it up for me. And so I might do it a little bit sloppy on the transitional colors, but that's because I know I'm gonna be putting concealer underneath anyway, and it's gonna be cleaned up. So if it's not the cutest right at first, you kind of have to wait till the end. That's the other thing about black shadow. You gotta be like patient and just like ride it out until you can clean it up. Starting soft. This is a giant brush. I believe this is a Morphe highlighting brush. Yeah, it's a Morphe M510. I don't use these for highlighting because I got a huge face and I also have these pretty big eyeballs, so I just use these for my like really soft, washed out transition color. So I'm taking this brush, it's a crown brush. Oh my God, and the label's all worn off already. You can find these, I think they are online, but also if you're a beauty professional, you can find them at Cosmo Prof. I think I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade together. That is Wanderer and Power Player. I'm not ready to go super dark with it yet because I want like a few color fade, if you will. You don't have to be super perfect at this because a lot of it is going to disappear when you put the black on. But this just helps to sculpt things out. So I've added a good fair amount of depth. And yes, this looks insane so far, but again, all of like this is gonna be black. So my crease is gonna move from down here to like up here, because this is where I actually want kind of my eye to start to sink in, is like up here. Because I have those tiny little hooded eyes. I've got tons of space here and like no space here. It's really, really fun. Love it so much. I'm gonna use this one up here, multitasker. I've been using this little dense, ooh, there's a fuzz on there. This little dense guy for the black eyeshadow. This is another, oh my God, it actually has a label on it. This is another, like an older crown brush, so I don't know if you can still get these anymore, but it's the number C422 Crescent Shadow. So yeah, it's basically meant to pack some crap on your eyelids. What I'm gonna do before that is re-prime with a little bit of, who are you? These Revlon, one of these Revlon Color Stay cream eyeshadow bases. Really more of that like gunmetal smoky tone. And it's probably just gonna completely disappear underneath the black. So don't worry about the shimmer too much. Plus, kind of closely matches the tone of the glitter that we'll be putting on anyway. So it's all about layering, and it'll add a little bit of extra stick. Sometimes I find that I can't get very good stick off out of the black eyeshadow because I've already laid down so many colors. This also kind of gives me an outline for where I'm gonna put that black shadow. I always do that kind of winged up shape just because my eyes droop down a little bit. This is a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. It's called Black Bean. It's literally straight up black. I think I'm gonna throw a little bit of that on as well because it's also a little bit sticky and provides some base color. So now I've dipped into the black color. It's called Fashionista. And I'm just pressing it. Just using a slightly cleaner Real Techniques brush. This is a base shadow brush, just to blend it ever so slightly. I want to go into this that will work. I have dumped a tiny bit of this glitter into the lid of the original container, and I just have this tiny little brush. It's a little flat, like packing brush, synthetic. Don't think I'm going to paint the primer all over my eyes and then put glitter on. I think I'm gonna like dip my brush into the primer and then dip it into a little bit of the glitter and then stick it on. So this is what the primer looks like. It's kind of like this beigey, iridescent, like it has almost a little bit of shimmer in it. So I'm just gonna go ham and get this all over the brush, back and forth. And then just pop into a bit of that glitter. I'm really hoping that this is a good way to do it. Oh. Don't get the fall down, friend. Oh my God, this is gorgeous already. Oh my God, I love it already. Oh my God, so good. And I'm gonna throw that kind of everywhere. Just gonna blur it out a little bit through that top edge. I'm assuming that this is almost gonna give like a wet look from stage, which is amazing. I'm gonna bring it up a little higher so you can really see it. That's pretty good so far. Oh, it looks cool from what I can see on the camera. Yes, okay. Stop getting distracted and put the other side on. So now here comes like the fun part, the cleanup part, where I get to stop screaming on the inside about this and these crappy edges. So I have two shades of the IT Cosmetics concealer because one is like too light, but one is like the perfect skin tone shade. So a lot of times I layer or mix them. So we're gonna go in with the slightly darker shade just to clean things up. So just picking up a little bit on this concealer brush. I probably actually put way too much on there, but it's fine. And I don't remember what this is, but I got it in an Ipsy and it's just a little, you know, double-ended, flat and fluffy brush. So grabbing out the mirror again. There is a little fall down or fallout or whatever from that glitter, but it's mostly on this side, so I must have put the wrong side of my tissue on there. So just be more careful. So I'm just dragging it like a little bit farther out than I actually want to blend it. So this is kind of the rough shape we're going for. And then I'm gonna take this soft side and just soften that. Because I still like the look of a slightly smudged edge. I don't want it to be super, super crisp. Okay, so we are gonna go under the eye, kind of gonna just do the same or similar shades as I did for the transitional areas in the top of the eye, but just going underneath and then following with black. I have these two little tiny brushes, so I'll probably use those. First one will be a little bit fluffier and we'll go in with some of those brown shades. I'm gonna go in with like this one. And I tend to go like reasonably far with it. But yeah, I'm starting out really quite low. Because this isn't even the darkest color. Once I put on the black, it's gonna shrink. Just like whenever I do my eyebrows and my mascara, all my eyeshadow seems to just magically disappear into my face. So I'm gonna find my little tiny, super pale It Cosmetics shade. This is the Ultra Fair. The other one was light medium. Just gonna go, I'm gonna go pretty far down at first. And so if I go too close, I'm gonna end up with a big, fat, like white line underneath all that blended eyeshadow. Blend it again, and I'm just gonna use that fluffy side again. I like this because it's nice and soft, so you can really gently smudge around the makeup. So we're gonna finish off with some brows and some mascara. You could wear falsies with this, but I just never do. I always just wear mascara, like a really nice thick coat. So we'll do that first. I am doing, what is this? Lash Paradise. Oh my God, we've seen it before. Lash Paradise and Better Than Sex are, they seem like they're kind of they're close contenders. They act very similarly. Although for some reason I like the Lash Paradise better. I think maybe because it's a little looser than the Better Than Sex. I feel like Better Than Sex dries out on me really fast. Let me know what you think about that. Oh, and by the way, in the Lash Paradise, I used the shade Mystic Black. Because I have that chubby stick on hand, I'm just going to use that to line my waterline and my tight line. Now, so why I love this L'Oreal brow stuff. Ooh, it's so magical. Look at the wand. It's teeny tiny and it kind of picks up the perfect amount of product. Also, you can do these really nice straight lines with it. Like, look at that. You can just brush, brush, brush. And it creates so much more shading than any other brow gel or mascara I've used. I'll probably use a little bit of pencil as well. Because again, like all the drag queens say, we are legit painting for the back row. So now that we have that, I'm gonna powder. What? She's gonna powder. Going to just kind of make sure everything's sitting well by using a beauty blender. This will help to press everything into my face. There we go. And I just have this little tiny Tarte Smooth Operator powder, and I'm just gonna put a lot of that on the lid, as much as it'll go. And I'm just gonna use the beauty blender again. I've really been digging like that kind of soft, damp setting of powder. I feel like it looks way more natural. And you can kind of apply a lot, and it doesn't really look like anything. I'm gonna use this brush. It's a powder brush from Real Techniques. I use it for bronzer. This is a Fit Me face powder, number 240 Golden Beige. Now I'm gonna go in with a MAC blush called Taupe. I'm kind of going ham with that. And I'm using the skinny side of the brush. And when I smile, I'm keeping it right on or above that line, pretty much. Because I have a very short face. And if you would like to learn more about contouring when you don't have like the ideal face for it, hit me up. I kind of tuck it around the edge here. First off, I'm gonna throw a little bit of this like really pale, it's almost like an under eye or like an under eye highlighting powder. It's really white. I'm gonna use this kind of champagne tone. This is called Afterglow, and it is from Pure Minerals. It's a Real Techniques blush brush. And I'm gonna kind of do that Nikki Tutorials thing where she does the K-beauty, like where it arcs. I just find that to be a really beautiful shape for a rounder face. And I kind of want to go right up in here. So when I do a lip, I generally want it to stay in a quite neutral family and almost look like I'm not wearing lips or I have like concealer lips. But again, on stage, you want a little bit of definition. So I do still wear something to bring them out just slightly. Today, I'm going to kind of try the Huda Beauty Out the shade is Flirt. And this is quite dark, so I think I'm gonna go over it with a slightly lighter liquid lip. And I always smudge the corners. Now I'm going in with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. This is fine, totally good variation on what I normally do. So, take the hair down. Normally I go for straight tousled hair. I did my best today, you guys. And this is sort of the vibe we got going. Headbang hair. Sexy goth girl. What happens if I do like emo bangs? Get it, get it. This is what I wanted to be when I was like in high school. So, you know, I'm living out that teenage fantasy now. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe you learned a little bit more about black smoky eye. Maybe you learned a little bit more about glitter. Maybe you learned a little more about stage makeup. If there's anything that you want to know or see, I will do my best to do it well for you. This is my take on rock star, rocker chick makeup with a little bit of a twist. So thank you for indulging my weird, crazy inspiration. All right, have a good one. See you on the next video. I should do this. I'm always like, peace. Okay, bye.